What's good, Bad News fam? Tall and I are here just chilling, still on quarantine lockdown, but you know what? It looks like the end is near. On today's episode, we sit down with some amazing guests, Chris Erb, Zach Noyle, and Casey McPerry. We recorded this episode during CS, and it's awesome to hear the guys' stories. It's also really interesting to hear the things that got postponed due to the virus. We really hope you enjoy. We also really appreciate all the love. We want to thank everyone for this continued support, and if you haven't already, make sure to follow us on social media. Anyways, we can't stress enough how important it is to leave a comment, a rating, and share it with others. And don't forget, we just launched our Bad News store and the website, www.badnews.com. Give it a check out. Let's grow this army. And remember, all news is bad news. And we're out.
All right. Well, we're back.
We're back.
Another little episode of Bad News.
Man,
We got a pretty cool little trio here today.
stack lineup of guests today.
Man. Well, we got Chris Erb.
What's up?
Everyone will find out who he is in a second. Mm-hmm. We got Zach Noyle, Hawaii Prince over here.
Hey.
Casey McPerry. What's up? He's just plain. He's just plain.
He's just chill.
But no, it's pretty cool. I'm really excited. We'll go through and talk for a bit. Everyone will explain to the people who everyone is, which will be great. Chris, you have your own podcast.
I do.
And Matt and I listened to a couple today.
And I've asked you to come do the podcast.
I know.
And you always come
You're
to
just too
Thousand
far.
Oaks and Calabasas. You're always there. And then I'm like, oh, you're here. And you're like, fuck, I left. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I always do a post the day after.
Yeah.
It's
good to stay.
The only
away.
time you'll catch real time is when I'm in Hawaii visiting Zach.
I feel like I'm going to use the studio for our podcast.
You should.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we're going to do this. We're going to do my podcast in this room. So.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
That'd be hot.
I would love that. So yeah, let's do some little quick intros. Chris, who are you? What do you do? What did you do?
Sure.
Why does the world know who you are? How am I listening to your podcast? And there's some really cool people on there. Why are they talking to you?
No, I appreciate that. They know who I am because I'm on your podcast now. So I fucking blow up. Chris Erb, I own a marketing agency called Triple Clicks. We are essentially a video game marketing agency. I spent 10 years working on the EA Sports brand, ran Madden franchise for a long time, and then the rest of the EA Sports brand. Before that, I ran Pokemon and all those kind of games back in the early 2000s. So video games a lot, spent some time at Legendary Pictures doing theatrical marketing, but really started my agency, and what we do is help brands like Taco Bell, Kellogg's, Mondelez bring their brands into gaming, as well as work with the Xboxes and Warner Brothers of the world, helping kind of bring promotions and culture into the gaming space.
So you do some pretty cool shit.
Yeah, that's.
I don't think people it's still hard for people to understand what Chris really does, but like you'll see commercials of like Taco Bell and like there'll be an Xbox thing with it. That's Chris.
I have my Instagram at Chris Erb. I just post kind of family shit.
Yes.
And when people find my work ones, like, oh fuck, you did all that stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, our company does a bunch of cool shit.
You do a lot more than
Xbox,
that, and we'll get into that.
I get a lot of emails about, let me get those Xbox Nikes. Like,
yes. Like Chris will be doing like a Tiffany's controller or something, like that's like that's where he's at. Mr. Noyle,
Hi.
what's up?
Not much, man. Stoked to be here.
Talk to us. Who are you?
I'm Zach, and just excited, a little bit scared to be in Vegas, but it's okay because I'm with Tall, and he's
Which is kind of scarier sometimes.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm more scared of that.
True. I mean, he's like a spirit animal to me, so it makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. But I'm from Hawaii, and I'm a professional water photographer, shooting surf and anything water related around the world. And so pretty out of my element here in the desert, but it's okay.
There's no water here. They got something on Mandalay Bay make you feel more at home.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to jump in the Bellagio pool, in the fountain,
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Calling.
Get like a little shot from like the fountain going up.
Yeah.
For those that don't know who Zach is, he's one of my favorite photographers on the planet. He takes some of the most amazing photos in water and even out of water. And we've been good friends for a very long time. And I love it when he comes into town. It's just like random. He won't even call me like a week before. He'll just be like, hey, I'm in Vegas.
That's what I
The
did.
old us, it would be a problem. Now I'm like, we're both like a little more chill.
Right.
But there's been moments in our careers and lives. So
More than a few.
yes,
Yeah.
Casey McPerry.
Man, I don't know how I'm going to top these last two guys right here. That was a heavy hit right there. I'm a content creator based in Southern California. I grew up in the action sports industry that then led into the music industry. And then with the rise of social media, I kind of became known for making creative content, which then led to me starting my own creative agency where we specialize in like short form, snackable content for the internet. So yeah, I've known Tall for a while now among many different ways, but yeah, the entertainment industry with the music scene. So if I needed anything, this guy always had my back. I'm stoked to be on this. I've never really done a podcast. I've only done like one other with Dingo. So
Dang.
yeah, other than that, man, I'm glad to be on this.
And for those that don't know, Casey McPerry by far changed the game of Instagram years ago when, you know, you went on his page and it looked like one solid post, almost like he connected everything together, where people do that now, but I guarantee fucking to you that Casey McPerry is the reason why you got that idea, or you stole that idea, or someone stole that idea from him of where you stole that idea from to make your page look like that. Casey is the reason that all happened, and it's amazing to see what he's done. I've seen other people, including my brother from Breathe, Carolina. He's made his page look like that, and he's always like, "Man, Casey shit's so cool, man."
Yeah.
I'm like, we're like Rich Production, you know, like all of our friends. Where I get angry because like I know how much work Casey puts into it, you know, and like now there's like grids, and it's like it's pretty easy to do, but like if you see what Casey can do,
You still have to have like an artistic eye and vision to put things together.
I get so annoyed when clients are like, "Oh, you know what looks great? This guy. Let me show you his page." I'm just like, "Oh, I know what it is already." And I'm like, "Don't even want to say it." I'm just like, "All right, you're gonna show me McPerry's page." He shows me, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah. You want to do that too?"
You sent me their link to their pages, and I was always pretty good with my page. And I saw that one, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, my page sucks. I don't want to be on this podcast. That guy's way better than I am.
Casey's making like hovercrafts like go over his page, and like it's like
Yeah, I've even tried. I've like really tried to like click on each picture and see how they line up. I've like broken them down and tried to figure out like how you expand them, how you crop them. So they like, I really, cause like, people have pressured me like, I know you can do it. If anyone can do it, you can do it. I'm like, all right, I'll try. And I even tried to figure out how you can like, cause originally you had to post 3 at a time, and then you kind of broke that mold of just being able to post 1 at a time and keep the, like it all nicely contained. And I figured out how to do that. But then the next thing you threw me off is when you do like you could make them bigger or smaller, you know, or make them long portrait style or landscape, and then he could still get them to link in. Yeah. And I that's when I was like, oh, this is over my head. It's like, shish, I'm just going to throw the towel.
We need Fast Company to build an article just on the breakdown of your piece and how it all fucking meshes. Would be dope.
Yeah.
That'd be hot.
Yeah, I'm down. I haven't really shared that much other than to my friends. I've showed them how I do it, so I'm down.
Never show them how to do it. Just kind of, you know.
Well, I feel like I attempt to show people, but they just don't quite understand.
They're not listening.
Yeah.
Well, even then, like you could show somebody, but like I feel like the way that you find the cuts, like where to cut the pictures, is like such an art form. Like you have to have the eye to know where the picture could cut and blend into the next picture. Like I've tried it numerous times, like fades and things like a little easier, like more softer, so it blends smoother. But like how rigid and clean it is,
I was always inspired by MC Escher, the artist, how he connects everything. So. But yeah, that's what I do, I guess.
Yeah. What are you guys doing here, Noel? Why are you at CES?
I'm not really sure yet, but I leave tomorrow morning, and I just got here last night.
Are you going back to Hawaii tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow morning. If you want to come with me,
I would fucking love to come with you.
Come on over. Fuck. Yeah. No, I just came out to support some of my sponsors and check some things out. And first time ever at CES, and sufficiently mind blown and really overwhelmed when I walked around. And I love tech, and it was just insane. And I think I could have spent all 4 days kind of really walking through and checking things out. But I think it was just like the best part is that you can't buy anything, because I think I would have just like maxed out for sure today, just for sure. So I'm like, that's good.
Oh man!
So all 3 of you guys are here for CES this week.
Yeah,
for sure. Perfect.
When do you go home, Chris?
Tomorrow night. So I come in Tuesday. I can't stay here very long.
Yeah,
you know,
I could tell. I could tell you have the itch.
I just sent you a note, and I'm like, hey, I'm here but I'm gonna be gone real quick. So just heads up.
What kind of meetings do you have out here?
Mostly brand meetings. So I work with Xbox,
Yep.
and we announced the new Xbox launching next holiday, the Xbox Series X. And so it's just kind of lining up partners, and we work a lot with Samsung and some of the other partners. So a lot of those kind of meetings, but then other brands, all the different brands are in town, kind of connecting with everybody. So I spent half my time in my hotel just doing random phone calls that I should be doing back at the office, and then trying to get to the floor and see new tech and work through that shit.
Wait, Casey, what are you out here with Samsung or?
Well, actually, last year I was out here for Best Buy with my company, but I didn't get to see anything, so I was kind of bummed. So this year I just decided to come out and just going solo and just taking it all in. So, but yeah, like Samsung is one of my partners that I'm signed to, as well as Delta. So with Delta's big announcement this year.
Did you guys see what they announced? Casey?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
This Delta thing's
So
insane.
there's this monitor that you look at, and no matter where you move, it like tailors the monitor for you. So like we all three are looking at the same screen, but it says different stuff, and you don't have to wear glasses either.
It'll say Zach Noyle.
So
you
it's
could
not-
stand next to each other, and it'll say Casey McPerry or Zach Noyle, and all you see is Zach Noyle, or all he sees is Casey McPerry, and it's all your details and like.
Yeah, so hopefully, I guess the mission is that way. In the terminal, all the monitors have this technology. So like if you run late, they're like, hey, your terminal's this way. You're like 5 minutes away, but so and so next to you will have a whole nother screen, and it's the same screen. So it's pretty intense.
So when you walk into the Gap in 2072, they're like, "Hey, we have your chinos over on the
But
left."
you know what's crazy is like
technology.
growing up seeing movies like Total Recall and all these movies. They used to like
What's that Minority Report? shit?
Minority
Where he
Report.
walks in,
Yeah,
he's like, "Hey, you want-"
welcome.
Yeah.
And it's like it's happening.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's happening.
Well, because how long would you be standing at the screen looking for like, okay, departure, like the gate, like which one is yours?
Right.
Like, running through the lines.
Right.
And that's like a couple minutes spent wasted, as opposed to like you're running and you look up and it's yours.
It's
Oh,
so
yeah.
crazy.
That's scary.
It's scary.
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 Casey was trying to show us with his phone too. He was like trying to
Yeah, I
teach from
filmed
his
it.
point of view, and then he would try to go behind someone and show like from there.
But it would double
just
up.
double up his view with their view. It was kind of weird. Like
Yeah, I think it was still in not the testing phase, but since it's in the convention, there's so much like frequencies going on too. So they're like having like not difficulties, but they say it's going to track from your app and your phone.
what really threw me off is when you walked around that one giant screen. And you walked from like the left to the right in the the different locations at each of those little hubs.
Yep, it changed location from where you're standing.
But how can they do that with the screen? Like, wouldn't they have to cut the screen?
I don't know. I think each pixel on the screen has like 20 little pixels, and it reflects towards the direction of where you're standing.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's
Because like a lithograph, you got to like watch it from a certain angle. I felt like I don't know how you would achieve that in the television,
So
like on
my-
an LED screen.
So in my world, I think you have two dudes playing Fortnite next to each other, and you're only seeing what you want to see. So you can stare without having to do split screen. Could I connect that to my controller, and could we be watching the same monitor, and I'm watching my game, and you're not cheating by looking at the other half of the split screen, which would be cool.
that would be sick.
Like I just think there's like Delta doing it is amazing, and I think
Yeah.
that's a great thing. But like, all right, where do we go with it? Like,
Well,
where do we take it?
They're the CEO invested in that company, obviously, so I think they see the bigger future. Obviously, like airline is where they want to start, but if it goes well, then
Yeah, you spin that off.
Imagine sitting on the couch watching TV and like your wife or your girlfriend's watching something and you're watching something totally different. You
See,
never
that's
have
even
to-
smarter than I don't have to watch that stupid show.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
You watch the Housewives,
Yeah,
and I'm
for
watching
sure.
football, and
Noel, do you even have a TV?
What? Yes, I have a TV.
Noel lives in Hawaii, like people. He doesn't need a TV.
But you look at his Instagram, you're like, this guy's in barrels all day long. He probably doesn't watch any TV.
I love being in the water. So
Yeah.
Very lucky to be in Hawaii and have that,
so waterproof TVs as well.
Waterproof TV.
How's the weather right now, Noel?
It's been raining a lot. January's been a very rainy, windy time. Not much waves currently, like this normal North Shore
Yeah.
season. But it's still paradise, so no complaints.
What are you working on? I always see you working on cool projects.
Got a couple cool projects coming out this year. We're doing some stuff around the Olympics. Surfing's going to be on the
Oh
Olympics.
wow,
for the
that's
first
right.
time.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. And I got
Is that a Zach Noyle thing or a Ruka thing?
So this is going to be a Zach Noyle and potentially Red Bull.
Oh, wow.
thing. And
Okay.
we're working on a big project around the Olympics and the athletes and everything and Canon. So got some great partners that I was able to kind of come with my own ideas, and then we're going to try to make it reality, and then it'll come out to everyone during the summer.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Man, the Olympics, action sports.
Insane. I mean, skating and
Oh my
it's
God.
insane. I really wish that the surfing was going to be done in a wave pool. And I think
Agreed.
that's my only thing. And Kelly's one was not as exciting in
Yeah.
the wave pool.
Yeah.
But there was no like randomness or like, you knew what was coming out. The surfers knew. So imagine having like 15, 20 different waves and you didn't know what was coming out and you had to adapt your surfing to that wave. And so it wasn't every single wave the same. Could make it a little more exciting, but now in Japan, it could be amazing, but more likely it's going to be like small, flat.
And you go to Japan too, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking too.
The
I'm
tide
like, fuck,
kills
man.
it,
Yeah.
everything. Like you get 2 hours if the tide is like good. And then it's like, what about the rest of the day? And that's only if you have swell. So it's like a lot of factors in that. And so it's kind of a bummer to come out on the world stage in that way. And it's like hinging on like Mother Nature.
Oh,
I didn't know that. I really thought it was going to be the wave pool. So I thought Kelly was just going to
Yeah,
destroy that.
they started like investing in it and building and doing all that. And no, they've decided to do it in the ocean, which is a bummer.
That's so crazy because like a lot of surf competitions are over numerous days. you know,
Absolutely.
'cause-
This is like a week.
yeah.
I feel like it's just not gonna.
People are gonna get a bad taste off the first one probably.
Absolutely. But you know what? The second one, Paris is 2024.
Yep.
And they've already committed to doing it in Tahiti. And the time period that they do it is like usually phenomenal. So at
there
least
you
that
go.
could be a saving grace, but
The
still as
rebound.
like come out, you know,
Yeah.
we'll see.
Tune in.
Man,
Tune in.
what do you got going, Chris?
Focused a lot on the next Xbox launch
thing is
and Halo,
ginormous.
which is going to be crazy. We just announced that at the Game Awards in December, so people are pretty stoked about that. Starting to quietly share some stuff. I'm working on a game called Cyberpunk. We're doing a bunch of marketing around that with a lot of really cool collabs coming with that, which is fun. So it's a lot of future planning right now. Like third quarter, fourth quarter is crazy for us because you go into a grocery store in November and December, and we're on Pringles and Cheez-Its and Pop-Tarts and Taco Bell, and like there's probably 50 things going on. So now is just kind of crunch to get ready for all that stuff. So planning and kind of building stuff out is really it's a really big play.
Is that Cyberpunk game? Is that already came out or is that like? Is
No, it's coming out in first quarter, April-ish time.
I feel like I've heard.
Is that the one that features Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. It's funny that they did the Keanu Reeves at E3, and Keanu was trending for like 2.5 days because of that moment.
I feel like he's always trending now.
Now, yeah, I mean, before that, it was like he was like,
No,
we
of
love
course.
Keanu,
Yeah, no.
But when that moment happened, now it's just such another level. So
He
yeah,
just can't lose right now. It's like
he's got the movie coming.
John, Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted's
You
coming
know,
back.
he's just like so much cool stuff.
I was a little
There's
worried. I saw
Matrix 4.
Matrix 4,
Oh,
that's
wow.
right.
Which is currently launching the same day as John Wick,
Oh,
so
my
they're
God.
gonna have to
Oh,
split
wow.
that up. But
Whoa.
yeah, it's gonna be a good 2020 is gonna be good for him.
Keanu coming back strong.
It's always good for him, by the way.
Yeah, it's crazy because he just doesn't do brand stuff.
No.
So it's he's not interested in advertising, just super like does his thing. So it's fun to see him. Like Cyberpunk's gonna be a monster.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to see such a great experience with him in that game, and then all the rest of the stuff that.
How do you know how to make the right partnerships work? Like when you're like Xbox and Taco Bell, why does that even make sense?
Yeah, I think it's I think there's a lot of spending 10 years at EA Sports, you start to learn like every athlete's a gamer. So like, Snoop would like, I had an experience where Snoop was like, I need the new Madden, and he got on a plane, flew to Paris. I'm like, I just got him in my hands. He had a kid he's at the airport, get back on the plane, fly back, go pick up my game and bring it over like before digital. I mean, these guys are passionate about it. So finding the brands that kind of helping brands get into it the right way. So Taco Bell kind of gets it. Kellogg's is a really good example of Kellogg's is like, tell me about video games. And now, they're giving away codes. They're doing content. When I was at EA Sports, I'd pick the cover of Madden. Me and 2 or 3 guys, and we'd pick the cover of Madden, and then I was like, how do we have brands do this? So we worked with Doritos for the first time, and we let Doritos consumers pick the cover of Madden, and it's really about just kind of finding brands that, and it took a long time to get Doritos to commit to that. They were like, why would I do video games? We did it, massively successful. Now Doritos does 2 or 3 video game promotions a year. So it's really about kind of authentically bringing brands in the right way. So we do that stuff, and then we also do Run the Jewels is a really good example. So huge fan of Run the Jewels. I got Killer Mike and LP to do a Gears of War collab with us. So we actually we got the album 6 months before the album was out, and the only place you could hear it is in the trailers for Gears of War. And so it was crazy. So like Rolling Stone would be like, I don't know what the fuck Gears of War 4 is, but they got the new Run the Jewels tracks.
Wow, yeah.
And then they're like, hey, these rappers are rapping in our video for this video game. So so it's just blending the audiences, which is cool. We're doing another track for a future game that's coming, which is super exciting. So those guys, like those Killer Mike and L, don't game.
Yeah.
Like they don't get on the sticks, but they love that space so much. So how do you authentically bring them in where it doesn't look like they're trying
Forced,
to be in here, but they just love the space. They just want to be around the energy and the kids. So bringing them in authentically and bringing that stuff together. So whether it's a Taco Bell or whether it's our RTJ, it's just kind of, it's got to be organic. It's got to be authentic, and people have to really understand it. We changed their logo for Gears of War. We put we dropped the hand and we replaced it with a Lancer from our game, and then we put the logo on the bottom. And when I wear that shirt in public, people are like, I love that shirt, and I'm always like, why? And they're like, oh fucking, I love Gears of War. And I'm like, do you I don't know what the other hand is. And then other people are like RTJ, and they don't see the Gears of War thing. So it's so interesting to see the people that kind of they're like, oh fuck, that was great when you did that collab together, because you could play the guys in the game.
Yeah.
So we did like 18 hours of VO with them. So you could actually buy that RTJ pack where you could play as Killer Mike and L in the game. It's their voices and it's their personalities, and it's great. So instead of licensing a music track for a game, how do you bring someone in, do something custom, and have that entire kind of 360 experience that's authentic? So that's really the important stuff that we build on.
So you were tired of getting blamed for the Madden curse, so you brought in Doritos?
Yeah, you know, I get the Madden curse blamed a lot. It's funny, I worked there for a long time, so I've memorized the PR. Like, you know, the guys on the cover are the guys that are around the ball the most, so the chances of injury are higher.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm from Seattle, so I'm a Seahawks fan, and I was like, I'm going to put Sean Alexander. Like, my first time that I get to choose it, like, I'm in a room with 4 or 5 people, I'm like, we're doing Sean Alexander. Like, that's the guy. And I thought I would never have to pay for beer again in Seattle, because I'm going to put a Seahawk on the cover of Madden.
And he's like
Week
killing it right
4,
there.
he breaks his leg, and I'm just like, God.
And then it was like Eddie George the next year. It was just
It's always somebody that's tough, and but it's a great story, and so it builds well. So.
I always love to watch who's going to be on there. It's not, I don't think it's as relevant as it once was, but
Thank you, I appreciate it.
What,
Since I've been gone.
yeah,
there you go.
Pass it off now. Doritos is doing a good job.
Noel and Casey, what are your thoughts on the way social media is being run these days? Like, it's way different than you guys when you first started, right? Like, you know,
I never thought there would be a career in social media.
Right.
So that's been a big shock that has evolved to this, that you can make a living managing it and creating content for these brands for social media. So it's definitely growing, but
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting to see like the change of like advertising and marketing from print. When I first started, we were talking about Transworld, and I worked for Transworld Surf. I mean, I can't remember how long ago, and that was print. That was everything. Having like a staff position as a photographer for the magazine for Surf was everything.
it's like a dream, right? Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
That was like, you made it. This was it.
yeah.
That was all.
And it says photo by Zach Noel. It's like
Credentials can go everywhere.
Yeah, I gave you everything. Then it was like Surfer. Then they just started slowly disappearing, and now it's like you're lucky if you get $25 to get like a photo ran on like the internet for their thing. So it's like, but then you look at it and you're like, okay, so Surfer had 100,000, I think, in their heyday, like circulation a month. Okay, if I have several 100,000 followers,
yeah.
I do that once or twice a day. I'm already hitting more people on a daily basis of my own. So why not create that into your own content? And it was never that the need for advertising or imagery or anything like that went away. It just shifted. And all these brands still need that content. They need unique content. They need new content always. And so it's like, how do you cater and shift that to them in a different way? They still need it. They can't just screenshot fan photos or do this. They need to create that brand identity. Without that brand identity, they're nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a free platform, but you still have to pay to play.
the great thing about digital content is that from print, you get to spend money on a magazine and a kid's looking at that, and for him to stop on a page and then like look up that on the internet and then buy something is too many steps. While with digital, they can literally swipe up and be right there to buy something like instantaneously. And plus you can track where they're at in the world.
It's just, there's definitely something about print though, to this day, you know, I did that Vans collaboration with Damien Hirst with the hotel, and we just made it in that All Gone magazine, you know, and that's like, they talk about the year of all the big collaborations with shoes. And I didn't know how big of a deal it was, you know, but Matt tells me what's like next or what's like good. And he's like, dude, this is like the Bible of 2019. Like it's really cool to me still to be able to hold it.
Oh yeah.
When we first opened the hotel or when we did the renovation, like all these write-ups were coming out. To me, print is way cooler than social media. I mean, I love social media, you know, like I've been blessed to have friends to get me the following that I have, but like I still think like holding something is to me is cooler.
It's the way to archive it when you go to a
Right,
sports game.
right.
Like I get a digital ticket and it's probably easier because I won't fucking lose it and everything. But like, but I want my ticket stub. Like,
sure.
you know what I mean? Like I think that a lot, which I find like you're totally right about the photography. Like when I look at our industry, we have what we call the Game Awards, which is like our Oscars, which not that many people know about. And it's kind of a cool thing and it's trending. But if you're not in our space, you don't really know about it. But they had 47 million viewers. Like, think about that for a minute.
That's more. That's more than
globally.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it's twice
more than the
size-
Oscars.
Twice that size, right? And it's not on TV.
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, it's not. You can't. Like, people are like, you should. Oh, it's so big. You guys should go on TV. And I'm like, well, yeah, why? Like, it's so big. Like, so it's interesting to see kind of how that stuff is aspirational at the time because I'm totally with you back in the day. But and now it's just so different. It's just that direct access to the consumer that's so cool.
I don't think print is dead per se. I think that it's gotten to a better quality. The ones that I see, the cultural magazines, the art magazines, those ones are all beautiful. And if you go to like Japan, print is
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it's far from dead.
They still have Tower Records there, okay?
Wow.
So, but like the quality of prints that I've seen and the magazines that are like coming out. Think about Red Bull. They did that Red Bulletin came out, and it's like you're gonna make a magazine at this point as every magazine, and they've been flourishing.
Yeah.
And it's just beautiful content, thoughtful stories, and that's what the difference is.
Just makes them put the energy into it and pay attention.
Absolutely.
It's like
and
movie
the people
theaters.
that love it still.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Those
like
still-
movie theaters. Like movie theaters used to suck, and now there's like, wait, you just bring the drink to my seat, like or I'm gonna
reclines.
watch stuff at home. Like, yeah,
absolutely.
It's interesting.
Well, it's like also too, like, you know, it used to be really important to get on TV or on the news or be on a segment. Now it's like, if I'm trending on Twitter, that's like more sought after, you know, than be on like a news segment or a TV spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use that analogy. Like back in the old day, getting on the radio was a big deal. Then like getting the newspaper was a big deal. But like now with phones and social media, like each of us have our own network. That's it's like Tollywood's network.
Yeah.
And then like people subscribe and follow you because they want to see your content, just like how people pay for like HBO.
Right.
So, social media, we're kind of like our own now network.
Own brand.
I also
You're your own
don't.
brand.
I also don't think it like has to do with like the following, right? Like Zach's got like 400,000. Casey's got what do you got now?
180.
180. I think even if you have 500, right, and those 500 followers, 400 of them are like so like core to you. And I always reference what Bobby 100 says because he's very smart and articulate how he talks to people. But he was saying the other day, like, if you have 500 followers and 400 of them are buying your shirts, you're a real business.
It's crazy engagement.
You're a real business, even if it's 200 shirts. Like you have that core following, and that's what's so cool. Like, so the fact that you have you have an army, you know what I mean, that loves seeing your work.
Yeah, it's that micro influencers just is more impactful from that broader stuff because it's so authentic. It's
more
to that
specific.
place.
Yeah. I started another account with my wife the other day just to like something fresh because I can't mine is just so I don't even know what's real and what's not anymore. There's so many bots and I'm just
Yeah, you were trying to tell me you were trying to read out some of your analytics, and I was like, "That's great." And you're like, you're like, "No, I want bigger numbers." But I was like, the percentage of that was still super high.
Like the other day, I posted something about Truff, and I was like, "This video is so good, it's gonna do really well." And it was the lowest thing I've had in years, and I know that's still a lot for some people, but I was like, "Damn."
It's the right message to the right person. Like you listen to Gary Vaynerchuk,
100%.
He puts out like 50 videos a day, and it's always about like inspirational. And this is what his brand is. And he says his highest. I work with those guys. The highest post he did last year was where he just eats blueberries for like 3 minutes. And it's just because it was just so different and broke through that people just understood it. And so you can't really think about your content.
No,
you just have to put a volume out, and you'll understand kind of what the kids are looking for.
Yeah,
you'll find that like you're one where you're like, don't think the most of that actual post or video, and you're like, why? Or like, oh, this photo is like, it took so much for me to get this, and I love it, and this one is real, and da-da-da, and then you post and they're like, no, I love the sunset because you maxed out your saturation. What?
That teal and orange.
I took that wave on the head for it. No, but it's like separating that reality. I mean, it's almost like an evil like necessity where like I like to kind of forget it and just kind of live and do my thing, but it's like also a thing for your brand and for your life and for like what you're doing, that we've all kind of carved into that way. So it's like a evil necessity, but it's like fuck that thing. No.
Right. No, for sure.
Super proud of my Taco Bell kind of post that I did, but my dog dragging its butt on my carpet got
Right.
twice that, and it's like, God damn it.
Right.
Oh, it's funny how that works. And even we're talking about just the algorithm.
Algorithms.
And that's like changing the whole aspect of it too.
Yeah.
Like you might post something at the wrong time and totally miss everything.
Yeah.
Or wake up on a Monday and Monday's not the good day. You should have done it on Friday afternoon.
And with you, Case, you're like very technical on how you post because it takes a lot of work, right?
I like to say that. I like
yeah.
to put some thought into my Instagram a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like I wish I could just post like a random,
Because there's so much that goes into one of your things.
Do you use stories for that because you're so curated on the feed? Do you have a platform where you feel like you can just plug? Like, here's what I'm having for lunch today. Like, is there a way
I could do that in my stories, but I'm not that type of guy who likes to like document myself. But
Yeah.
that's something I kind of feel like I need to change and like bring my followers into my life because they want to know what I do.
More access.
Because I'm usually behind the camera and I don't show myself. So
That's more of a personality thing. Like, I just don't. Why would you care about what I'm
exactly,
drinking?
I don't
Yeah.
find that interesting for people to know what I'm eating. But some people want to know what I eat. And then
It was kind of cool seeing you do all that stuff on the floor at CES today, though. Like using the arm.
yeah,
to
he's
lift
like,
the
man,
luggage and
Casey
stuff."
tried everything today.
dude, that was probably my highlight. I played a robot at ping pong today.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you win?
I won.
but we got to see it on the story for once, so it was kind of cool to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Like,
So
a little BTS.
Yeah, so but yeah, I'm so curated on my account. So like I think my followers like that I have that like consistent thought process into making something that's like unique.
Do you have like hours of like the prime hours to post or the prime days to post?
It's suggested on like Instagram, but I've done work for Instagram and they say it does not matter. They're like
It doesn't.
matter.
I feel like it's all a lie.
They say it shouldn't. They say no matter what in that 24-hour window, it will get reached to all your followers, even though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's just they're gonna take it and put it into like your friends are. Even if you post it at the right time, your friends may not see it because it might not go into their loop.
Well, that's the thing.
right?
The algorithm now or whatever, like it doesn't. It's not what it used to be.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, you just post it and it's right there. That's the
It's got to be
first thing.
different on
time.
Twitter.
It's just
got to be
horrible.
different on Twitter from a timing perspective.
be.
than
And I know they're hearing people. I know they know what people are saying.
I feel like I've used to follow people that I don't even find.
you don't even
anymore.
see it. I'm like, dude, I follow 999 people. I
Yeah.
keep it at that. I'll unfollow, but I'll keep it at 999. There's no way I'm seeing all 999.
And that's a bummer because
Yeah,
that's
of course.
who I want to follow.
Absolutely.
That's who I want to see. Like, don't start suggesting, right, there's stuff that I would see and you're like, this is so sick. Maybe it was a shoes or something like that. I looked to go call like that store and it was 2 days old. They're sold out already. Damn it. Like, give this to me in real time.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks. Like,
We are living through this. Like, you know what I mean? It's so fucked up. Like
They're
we're-
listening,
Yeah.
constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we're looking. It's
Yeah,
all
can you
day
hear
long.
me?
All day long. It doesn't matter. Like you'll talk about something 3 days from now. The ad will
Yeah,
pop
we should
up.
do it. We should like talk about one specific product and then all relate back on when that started falling.
You guys have all had that weird kind of conversation where you're like sitting with somebody and you're like, "Fuck, I gotta go get it. I'm going to McDonald's for lunch today," and then you go back to your desk and like, I gotta send an email, and you pull up your browser and you're like, "There's a fucking McDonald's."
Oh, yeah.
Like, God damn, that's
I'll
too
be
fast.
on TMZ or World Star, and then the ads of the conversation a day before are just. I was talking about a Rolls Royce the other day. All of a sudden, I'm just seeing Rolls Royce ads, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of
that's
here!"
some extreme target marketing.
It's fucked up. Zach, are you gonna move out of Hawaii ever?
Only if you have a room for me to move into.
Right,
Like,
Dang,
not
that
even in
sounds-
the hotel, like at your house.
right.
Sounds like he's down.
I don't think so. I mean, I love
Because it
Hawaii.
is the best place in the world.
Yeah, well, I love Hawaii. I love my home, and been so fortunate that I can make a living there. And I travel, probably 7-8 months out of the year, and been doing a lot more like commercial work, not just in like the surfscape, but also like related to like water.
Right.
From scuba to swim to all of those things, and it's been really fun. And with this day and age, you can jump on a plane and do it. And if they really want you, they're going to fly you there, So I don't think it limits. I mean, I think living in LA would probably be a small fish in a big pond, but
Right.
you could get some different and more work just as like New York or anything like that. But I like my niche of water and where I am and that. So
How was real quick? How was Pipe?
Pipe's been good.
Everyone was just out there.
Yeah, it's been insane. A lot of swell, a lot of waves, a lot of egos.
What's
but,
what is Pipe Masters for people that don't know?
The Pipe Masters is like the Super Bowl of surfing. It's the final event for the World Tour, and it's where the world champion is crowned. And if you love surfing, you need to see Pipeline when it's good, because you're standing on the beach and they're like 75 yards off the beach,
Thousands of people.
thousands of people catching the craziest waves right in front of you and coming flying out of the barrel. It's amazing.
For people that don't know, North Shore is 6 miles long.
Yep.
It's about 6 miles long. It's 2 lanes. So when Pipe's around, and it happens from like December 1st to the 14th,
Traffic.
you cannot get in or out.
No.
It is impossible. It's kind of I go. It lands on my birthday every year, so I haven't been in the last 2 years, but I've been with Zach like 7 times. I usually go to the Ruka house with him, and it's insane to watch people. People just go to just like check this crazy thing out, and it's so cool to. But sometimes you might wake up and there's no waves, and Hawaii looks like a lake.
Absolutely. That's when I get off the North Shore. Idle hands, I'm out of there.
Let's talk about your miles, by the way, with all that air travel, because you're 3 hours to land, right?
5.
It's the U.S. Yeah, 5.
5.5.
So,
man,
so
that
it was
mile
6 to get
collection.
here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good, actually for me, it's great because my like travels is like Japan, Australia, Tahiti, California. Like I just go around the Pacific, and then there'll be like Europe, like once or twice a year. But it's like for the most part, I'm just hit the circle of the Pacific.
Staying
and
where it's
great.
nice.
What airline do you fly on?
I fly a lot on Hawaiian Airlines.
They're
Yeah,
so
you know
good.
where I'm going with these points. Things.
I'll get you over on Delta. Don't worry.
Okay. So yeah, I'm looking to change over, and no, but
It's gonna make you migrate those points. Is the problem?
they're great because then you have inter island and everything like that, but it's good for now. I don't travel with surfboards, so I've heard nightmares with surfboards on like certain airlines and things, but I'm traveling just with camera gear, housings, and going lean.
Wow. What do you got, Case? What are you working on?
Pretty much finished up a couple campaigns for Samsung. A couple new.
I know there's going to be a whole lot of fans for like Kels's camp. So
Yeah.
you little kids out there, Casey is the one that did Till I Die video. He directed it.
Oh, such a good video.
It's a good video.
That was my first music video I ever made.
Wasn't there a drive-by shooting?
There was, yeah. Me, Kel, Slim, and Dub went to Sub City Sandwiches.
Right.
We're like finished up the shoot, and I have like my red camera and like gimbals and everything, and I'm obviously out of my element for sure because I'm from San Diego, California, and we're in Cleveland, East Side of Ohio.
In the hood.
Yeah. And as like we're leaving, I don't know the whole story because I was just trying to get my shit and like get out, but guns got drawn, and Kels and everyone else was like, oh, this is normal. I'm like, all right, cool. But so anyways, EST and Kels and everyone's been family to me, so that was a fun ride. Still great friends, but man, tour life, dude.
Yeah.
Stories for days. That
Casey jumped on the road for like 2 years, maybe more.
I think it was about 3.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was my
Casey
family
caught some good.
my camera
videos.
saw
Yeah.
a lot of things. I tell you that. And
is that like, I always wondered that as a photographer, like on tour, like what's the hours? Is that like their full time? Like all day?
I didn't
Like,
sleep,
never-
especially with Kels. Kels, he
doesn't sleep.
Kels is such a creative person that obviously I used drones before drones were a thing, and like that pushed the envelope, and then finally like the bar got set to another level. So Kels is always pushing that level. So like I'm like, oh, I thought we're like good at this level. He's like, no, we're like, what's next? I'm like, all right,
what else do
never
you
good
have?
enough.
let me think of something next. And so like I love that aspect about being on tour because every day you wake up in a new city, a new location, and you're like, let's go wake up and shoot content. But for me, you only get about 3 hours of sleep because you're up till like probably, for me at least, 4 and 5 in the a.m. and you wake up at 9 a.m. because that was the only time from 9 to noon was like I could get work done.
Right.
So the rest of the day was fun times.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could talk for hours about tour life, but
Give me like 2 stories right now. Like what's like some fucking shit you're like, I'm never going back on a bus. I'm never going on the road ever again.
no, I'll go on the road again. I don't think I can go for like, I think they broke they had the record this year too, Kels. Like they went on the road like 92 times. We would go on the road when I was on the road with them like 3 months at a time. And I know my girlfriend at the time was like, all right, see ya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the craziest things that we got to experience, like obviously like going to Russia and like stuff like that.
Right.
We went over there and like that was a time like a Russian airplane like had crashed. So like we were all like kind of like on edge as we were flying in. And then as we're headed to Paris, the shooting happened there with the Eagles of Death Metal, like literally like
shit, yeah.
a week before. So Kels was the first like American artist or any artist to play since that happening. So it just, you never know what's going to happen out there, but you just got to live life and have fun. But man, I can't. There's so many stories I probably can't share just because they're just gonna stay
That's
in my
exactly
head.
what we're looking for.
Yeah, no, I know what you want me to say, but like,
That's the one I want.
no, I'll keep at that for the inner circle.
Oh man.
That's amazing.
You got plenty of stories, Tall. Like, come on, how about something from you, dude?
No, there's no
Oh
stories.
wow.
You got no stories, dude? I know you have stories. Most of my crazy ones have been with you, dude.
Which ones?
Just anything in Vegas, I feel like has turned into like a movie.
Vegas is always a movie. I mean, Vegas, this town is so insane, man. Like I had to kind of like reel myself back. I mean, this hotel, you know, I used to live in this hotel when George Maloof owned it.
Yeah, this guy never leaves. Even we're all gonna leave here, and this guy's gonna stay. It's the craziest thing.
Tell us about the shoe drop. Like, do you have any good stories of that? Like, you just like
Shoe
had
drop
the craziest shoe drop.
Shoe drop
ever.
was really good, man. Matt was obviously with me from the day we started it, which was about almost 2 years ago. We did it with Damien. My bosses are really close friends with him, and that's the only reason why it happened. You know, it wasn't because of me. Like, I obviously brought the Vans aspect of it.
Dude, you owned and took the whole thing. So no,
He was connecting the dots.
I helped connect the dots.
that's all we do is connect.
You know, but it was hard, man. Because every time I thought it was not gonna happen, like my bosses made another like move to make it happen, and it was really cool. It dropped on my birthday. That was not intentional. Vans was just like, we're thinking December 6th. I was like, yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know,
You were gone all week.
yeah, I
Just got
was.
back.
I was at Art Basel, and that's why I didn't go to Hawaii. Right when I landed at 1 a.m. here. Got here, met with Matt and Jen, who works with us. We set up, and then I looked at Matt and Jen, and I was like, we should go to bed and like just meet here at 5 and set up. And that's what we did. We met up at 5 a.m. and set up, and there was already a line. You know,
how long was your line?
It wasn't that big because I mean, it was like.
It's a
hundreds-
shoe drop at the Palm.
I know,
it's a
but
hard thing for people.
But
to
that's the
kinda-
thing that like Vegas culture is growing still. It's not like LA or New York.
Doesn't
You
matter
know,
where
We
you
don't
go.
have the hype beast.
You don't
like,
have the
movement
hype
yet.
beast kid here. You do. They look at it, but they're not like
resale kid.
they're not that
Yeah.
kind of kid. Like they do check out. I know everyone checks out hype beast every morning or high snob or complex, but
One or the other.
yeah, but those kids aren't like the fucking fan where they're like, I'm gonna go wait outside of Rosewood and be in line for 19 hours. You know, so I was hoping for that, and I'm hoping that I'm one of the guys that helps bring that to the city.
I think it was like a little higher of a caliber artist
It's
too.
the
So
same,
like a
yeah.
lot of like out of people's like realm of like if it was like a Takashi Murakami or something, people would have been like
If it
lined
was
up to the door.
if it was Kaz or Takashi, I think it would have been a little different. Damien doesn't normally do this stuff. He
Yeah,
doesn't need
that's
to.
what made it
you know
so
what I mean?
dope.
That people were like still are like, I can't believe you did that. You know, we only made 900 pairs of shoes.
Yeah.
You know, in New York, the New York Vans Volt store only got 20 pairs of each style. They sold out in like 90 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, like they were calling me like, there's going to be a riot here. You know, so that was really cool.
I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah. You know, so that
It was crazy virally. I mean, online.
yeah, it was.
crazy.
That's my PR team. That my girls are, you know, Allison Barad. Shout out to my girls in New York. They're the best. There's no one better than them. You know, they helped us. It's been really cool. So that was really fun. You know,
super dope.
other than that,
Congrats.
this city is all about partying, and you know, CES is one of the biggest trade shows on the planet. You know, so everyone's in town right now. This has been really cool. You know, just conversations with friends, and I'm excited for this because it's just like 3 way different people. Noel and Casey they're just such different photographers, but they're both so good at their fucking job. And then Chris is just like,
I'm a terrible photographer. I'm fucking.
you're a horrible photographer.
Instagram, iPhone, like take a picture of my food, kind of.
But
I don't post food.
But
like,
your job is just like a dream job. People, you know,
yeah.
like people aren't even like, I don't even think they understand. They don't. I really truly don't think people are like, they don't get how cool Chris is.
No, it's
how
fun
big
to
EA
yeah,
Sports
it's
is
just
even.
fun to play in that space where the idea of bringing like we're talking to Murakami about doing some stuff for next year for
Right.
us with a video game and how do you bring all these people together? Because I mean, like when I was at EA, my favorite thing I did was like I got Madden on the cover of the Pottery Barn catalog. Like people are like, what the fuck, like exactly, like you're supposed to be from a marketing perspective, you're supposed to shake it
But
up
EA
and do
is
different
so big. Like you just drop the name EA and everyone's like, yep. You know,
Yeah.
because it's like, you know how big it is. It's like,
stuff.
Did you leave because you wanted to leave? Did you leave because it just things were changing? Is that a
10 years, man.
touchy
Yeah.
subject?
No, not at all. No, it was great. It was 10 years, and I had twin boys with my wife.
Yeah.
My kids are 6, and I was in Florida, and you're like, all right, I got to put roots down, but
Right.
it ain't Florida. So yeah, I got recruited. I was friends with Thomas Tull, who owned Legendary Pictures, and he was like, come to LA. And I was like, done. So I did Legendary Pictures, and I worked on Godzilla and Pacific Rim and a bunch of, I was working on the head of theatrical marketing. So it was fun, but it was I was just missing gaming. So I just got there, roots in California, and then got back into the gaming stuff. So
That's amazing. And you now live in Thousand Oaks, California.
yeah, your hometown.
Yeah.
You-
Well,
right-
Agora Hills.
Right there. I'm on Agora and Westlake. So that's where the office is. You'll eventually do the podcast there, or if we're doing it here. But yeah, I'm in North Ranch right there. So I'm in
I love it.
all your guys' old hoods. Yeah, you and Aaron. And
You guys
all
could
those
do
guys,
Italian
so.
deli afterwards.
You haven't even been to the hot chicken restaurant
I know,
next to that
I know,
deli.
you tell me, I
that
know.
it's the thing. If you're not in Nashville, that's the place.
Really?
Yeah, it's that good.
It's so crazy too because it's like in a little like mini mall you wouldn't expect.
Yeah. Are you guys fast food people? Do you guys like fast food?
Yeah,
These guys look healthy.
No, this
No,
guy's over here-
it swims all day.
Casey was telling me he's on the
I know.
plant-based diet
Well,
now.
I was the shittiest eater ever, man. I ate burgers and chicken strips every single day. That tour life and just Postmates, like
No, I feel like you're like super like
Just poke bowls.
No fast food.
so
for me.
racist, man.
No, I'm sorry.
Everything else.
You are on the road a lot, but
Yeah.
do you try to eat as healthy as possible?
Yeah, I mean, try to.
Right.
You come here, and last night I wanted to eat everything I saw. I only made it through like 2 restaurants. Like, didn't pan out quite like I imagined. But you know what? It's just like you got to enjoy where you are.
Right.
And I have a pretty good like fitness and like workout routine at home, and you got to enjoy, man.
Yeah.
It's like you can do these like stringent diets and everything like that, but it's like you also got to enjoy. So if I
Right.
can pound my workouts, I just even it out real quick.
Treading water
Yeah.
though must just burn so many calories.
Yeah.
Treading water all day
Yeah.
like that, and having to swim through all those waves and fight back.
Absolutely.
I was when he was showing me the page, I was like, this is almost like I didn't want to like say it, but it felt a little harder than surfing in a sense because like you have to constantly keep getting back in there and you're just taking wave after wave.
Absolutely. And treading water and doing that. I mean, I think at one point when I shot the Eddie Aikau, which is like the big wave
Yeah.
surf competition, they only hold it when it's 20 feet, which is 40-foot faces, 4-story building. And I was the only one swimming out there at the time. And I swam for 8 hours straight. But they hadn't ran it before. And I was like, why am I going to go in for 10 minutes for water or a snack? Like,
Right.
and miss the best wave
Yeah,
that like
that'd be the
it
shot.
hadn't run in 5-6 years. I was like, forget that. Like, I got this. So that's why I train.
That's
To
crazy.
get that camera high enough, how far you got?
Water polo helped. So
Yeah?
it's like I got the
You can
treading
get it out
water
there to,
and
like, the belly
yeah,
button
I mean,
kinda
you,
thing?
you just got to get it above, but like there's the water moving and everything like that, and then you got to focus. So we're using all different kinds of lenses, anything from a wide to a zoom lens, and you're having to zoom in and out, focus it, and get the right exposure.
8
So it's-
hours in the water.
Hey, I got a
Yeah.
camera question. Do you like a wet port or like a dry port for like when you're shooting?
That really depends.
Yeah.
So it's really like dependent on like your focus. So if you're going to be shooting like an autofocus, you're going to want to go with a dry port. And the reason for that is the water will beat up. I'm sorry if this doesn't make sense
No,
to anyone
please.
else, but like the water will beat up and you'll lose your focus. It'll pull your focus to there and you'll get like blurred lines. So you always want to shoot it dry if you're shooting auto. And if you're shooting in a manual, you're going to shoot it wet.
But you
like a
can't really
fisheye.
shoot dry with like a fisheye up close though. I feel like.
Yeah, but a fisheye you'd probably shoot in manual always
Okay.
because you can go 6 inches to infinity on your focus, and yeah.
Yeah, I've never shot surfing like in the water, maybe from like the beaches, and like it's awesome. I don't know how you do it, man. to
It's
be, like, in the
crazy.
water.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm
like,
a good swimmer too. Like we had surf PE growing up, but like besides that, like
I always see when I go to Hawaii, I see Noel go in with everyone in the water, and he's just got like full helmet that he puts on, and like the fins, and
Yeah.
but you have your own fin. You have like your own signature fins and,
Yeah.
and all that, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yep, they allowed me to do my own fin, create my own design,
That's
and
sick.
it's something that 100% of the royalties go back to the North Shore Lifeguard Foundation. It's a tool that saves my life, will save other people's lives, and it's something got to put back into the community.
Oh, that's awesome.
There was what was going on in Hawaii this last year, Noel? I saw everyone posting there was some situation about the land or something going on over there, right?
Yeah, that's still happening, and it's still a problem. And it's happening up on Mauna Kea,
Right.
on the Big Island. And what's happening is they're trying to develop and put another telescope up on top of Mauna Kea. It's a fucking 30-meter telescope or something, just massive. And, the problem is the land was leased, and it's the state's, it's the people's land. And what has happened is the state has taken it, said it's theirs, leasing it, making money here, making things. And, they are providing jobs, but not to the degree of the desecration. And the problem is they have like 10, 12, don't quote me on that, but like a lot of telescopes up there that aren't, and they probably have like 5 or 6 that aren't working.
Oh,
So
wow.
take down the ones that aren't, because
Right.
it's sacred land. So if they were taking them down as they weren't using as technology change or things like that, they might have a stronger case. Still not okay, but still like stronger case. But they have ones that are just empty and just like decaying up there.
Wow, because I
Terrible.
see, I'm obviously friends with a lot of people from Hawaii, and I see them posting all the time, and even The Rock is like up there, just like
The Rock was up there handling and just kind of like promoting and pushing back, and just, anyone and everyone, like they don't want to see like land taken from
No,
the people. And
of
that's
course.
like the worst thing is like, there's so much things with like politics, as we know, and that like the government will just take.
Yeah.
And that's terrible.
What else you guys got going on that I don't know about? What are you working on that you want to talk about?
I'll get you on my podcast.
I'm gonna
That's the
do your
first thing they're
podcast.
gonna do. Like,
I'm
let's
excited.
go.
I
I'm
know.
excited. I'm
Especially
excited.
with the lineup that you got on your podcast, Talon will fit perfectly in there. I think you got good stories.
I just want to tell the story of like when we first met. I'm the newest friend in the room.
Yeah.
And so when I was digging in this guy, I'm like, I had followed. I was like, oh, I love this guy. And then we met, and I was like, oh, it was kind of instant. I think we had some mutual friends.
Mutual friends. Yeah,
and
we
stuff. I want to hear stories
Yeah.
on each of the art.
Banks'
I'm gonna go through the
story
hotel.
Banks' story
Yeah.
was my boss. He's an amazing art collector. He loves art, and he had a Banksy. He's like, I think I'm gonna put this in the hotel. I was like, I think that's a good idea.
It's crazy. It's a huge one.
Yeah,
it's so big.
Yeah, we'll go down there,
Can't wait to
Noel.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
that's incredible.
Noel is a part of the Ruka family, and Pat Tenori, the owner, is like a father to both of us. And if you don't know art, you should not be a part of Ruka. You have to
Yeah.
know a lot about it. Pat has brought in, so many artists and made so many artists their careers. And so I know Noel knows all about art, and he's walking around here just like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, I mean, what you've been able to do here has never been done,
No.
like to this degree, this magnitude or anything like that. And I think that's just so incredible. I mean, you have the support
Yep.
of the owners
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the hotel, but you've made it into this like the 21st century like hotel.
Yeah.
Art, cool space like this on such a grand level.
Yeah.
Like, right, if you had one of those pieces at like a smaller size and that was like, this is what, like, centerpiece of the hotel, right, you have more than we can count.
Yeah,
Which is
Keegan
gnarly.
did the front desk, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a sick
Crazy.
one.
Yeah, Keegan's
That's
like a photographer friend of ours, and
Yeah.
obviously surfer, and
so many
Really
like
cool.
Instagrammable moments. I think that was like the catalyst that people
Yeah.
weren't even really ready for, especially in Vegas or even in any
I just-
hotel
yeah,
hospitality
I just-
environment.
Absolutely.
I just
so
love
pure.
watching. I love watching people like through the day. If I'll walk around, it may not do anything else for the people. Some people that work here, but like just seeing people take photos, through the entire day. Some people don't even understand what they're taking photos of. They're just like, this is so cool. Like they don't understand Damien Hirst. They don't have to.
Yeah.
Do I want to teach them? I want to go sit with them and talk to them about it? Absolutely. Like
Having conversations with people that love art is great, but then there's other people like I have a couple. I just bought a couple more commies, and people are like, "Why are you like?" It's okay. I'm like, you got to realize like he's kind of like the Andy Warhol
Yeah.
or the Keith Haring of
Yeah.
this generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're living through this.
Yeah.
You've got to celebrate it and be excited about it because in 25 years, people are going to look back and be like, "Man, I can't believe you were there for that moment." And so to come here where you're celebrating all of those things together is really cool, and it's fun to have that personal access to like even the cause by the wine
Yeah.
and like all that stuff is just fun to be able to see that like okay, this is like you just kind of bond with it and be like okay,
people,
this is my
even with
spot.
cause, some people don't know who that is. They just go in there like, I know
the-
that purse. I know that
It's
toy.
that Uniqlo. Oh, they made a statue of that Uniqlo T-shirt
Yeah.
that my kid wears. Like, it's so great.
Isn't that a cartoon character somewhere?
That's Snoopy. It's sad. That's just how it is.
No, it's
You
good.
know?
but
It's hard
that's-
to be, especially in the art world, like with Murakami's, like you're saying, it's like a gamble. You never know. Like you might buy it and it could be pan out to be the next Warhol, or it could
Yeah.
be just a regular guy. Like such a
Yeah.
Like, we were
Well, that's-
talking today about we have a Warhol in the lobby, and
The Elvis one.
The Elvis one,
Yeah.
yeah. And it was, I don't know if
It's
it
not.
was
It's not this one.
we don't know
but
if it's like the exact one, but one of the variants of that just went for, what was it,
52
52
million.
52 million, and that was.
I saw the biggest Banksy went the other day for
12 million.
Yeah, for 12 million. And I'm looking at that article going, like, I think with the Basquiat was $21,000, went for $110 million. Like, you just look at that Banksy and the size and scale of it, and that's an icon. I could show that image to people and they know what it is. Like, that icon, I just felt like
Art's
cheap.
our art is just a gamble. You don't know.
It's crazy.
Like we're reading this book called Boom right now.
Michael Shireson.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good for like Audible. Obviously, we don't read, but it's really good. It breaks down everything from the gallerist to the artist to the dead artist, living artist. Buyers, just everything. It's really good. Like once you get through the first 2 chapters, it just starts like flowing and talks about everything and everyone. And from the 80s of how good it was to the 90s where people thought the art world was just going to explode it was dead. It was dead. No one was buying anything. Everyone was just depressed. They didn't even want to buy art.
This is just a different, like, there's shoes and video games, and we're using these people and they're curators, and like Nike sells far fewer shoes of basketball players than they do of the head of Louis Vuitton, right? Like Virgil's driving more than LeBron is driving, and like that's just such a different mentality for kids, and that's where like the gaming comes in, and like all of that stuff tied together. It's just like we're one culture now in one world, and like the past, like the bigger things just get bigger, and the smaller things just get smaller.
Wow. Well.
So you're gonna ask your
You know what?
question?
And we'll make it
do it individual.
Individual. So I've been asking everyone like, hey, like it sounds now like fuck. I'm just like I got to come up with something else.
Yeah.
No, but like I read somewhere where it says that the normal kid leaves his parents' house at age 26. To me, that sounds like crazy old. Like 26 years old is insane. Because I know when I left my parents' house and way before then. It's more like the kids aren't driven, they're too scared when they get out of college. If they even went to college, they don't see many jobs out there for them. They don't, they're too embarrassed to work at a Starbucks. They don't want to do McDonald's. What would you tell people, like, man, how do I become Casey McPerry or Zach Noel or Chris Erb? Like, how do I go work with, Xbox? How do I go get Canon as my sponsor? How do I get Audi as someone, that I can work with, a client, like what drives you guys, some inspiration for the kids out there?
Who wants to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. They said the average is 26.
26.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for me, like, I believe I was 24, 25 when I officially left my parents' house. But before then, from the time I graduated high school, I was on the road with a lot of my friends. So I kind of lived on my own, like on a tour bus, even though like I did live at home, which helped me save up for a lot of things. I think that really helped me though, because I was able to put myself out there by going to more events and surrounding myself with people that I wanted to be, in that industry. So I, at the time, wanted to be in action sports. So I went to every X Games event I could think of, or any little agenda trade show. Like I wanted to be there just so that way I can like be in the scene. And I think that's probably my best advice to any kid who wants to get into the world. If they really love like gaming, like they need to go to every event that they can and get involved.
Yeah, I think with I think with like internet and just digital and everything, there's so much possibilities and there's so many new jobs coming about, and you just can't be lazy.
Yeah.
You got to get out there. You can't feel entitled.
Right.
You can't feel just because this person is posting all their travel pictures or they're posting this shirt they got for free or this thing. It's like you can't feel entitled. You have to get out there and make it yourself of what you want to do. And if you can see what you want to do in the long run, learn it on the internet.
Right.
There's so many kids I've heard that have taught themselves editing or different things via YouTube or this skill or that skill or like of any age. And it's like, get out there and fine tune that. And the only way that you're going to get better is by repeatedly doing it and practicing. Whenever I get a new camera, my dad, or a piece of equipment, my dad would always be like, just shoot it. Just take it with you. Just go. Just do it everywhere you go. Take it with you everywhere. So you get used to it. Because what if he's like, so I get it, and then I wait until there's a swell. Then I bust it out of the box and I try to use it. I'm not going to be comfortable with it.
Right.
But if whatever that piece of equipment, camera, musical instrument, anything it is, if you just start using that consistently, constantly, even when it's not in the face of where you want to use it or what you need to do it, you're going to be so much more comfortable with it. And when the time to present or time to do, you can be ready.
Yeah. Chris?
I say if it's a marathon, like it's not a race, so I don't feel like I have 9-year-old twin boys, and when I try and teach them, it doesn't matter what anybody else does. Nothing in the world matters. What excites you? What do you like? What do you want to do? And then go do it. I think Steve Jobs said everything on this planet was created. Like, you know what I mean? Like someone made this pen, or someone built that game, or someone made that movie, or made that music. Go do what you want to do. Like don't worry about anything else. Don't chase money, chase passion, and then the money will eventually come. So if you want to be an esports athlete, then fucking play games 10 hours a day and don't worry about your feed or stream. Just get better and play and work hard. And after a year and a half and you don't have any followers, but you still love it, keep it going.
Keep going.
You'll get there. If you do it for 3 months and you're like, yeah, I don't actually like this, awesome. What's next? Like, you're not supposed to know what you're supposed to do until you're in your mid-30s, right? You don't need to know what you're going to do the day you graduate college. So spend 10 years trying to figure out, taste everything, figure out what you want to do, and then just double down on whatever you love. Like, I got into video games because randomly I love video games.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you guys, you love water, right? You're doing, like, the action sports stuff. Like, we all kind of grew up knowing kind of, this is kind of what I'm passionate about. I have no idea how I'm going to make, like, I own a video game marketing agency. There is no real video game marketing agencies out there. And I've never worked at an agency before. So I don't know any of this shit, but like I worked in video games a whole bunch of times. I did a bunch of cool shit, and I should just kind of keep trying to do that stuff. So there isn't a path. There isn't a right way. It's just figure it out. Like it just figure shit out. Like when I was a kid, I couldn't Google shit.
Right.
Like I had no idea.
Go get that encyclopedia.
That was my college. I just Googled whatever I needed to learn.
Yeah, and I didn't have that. Like when I think back to when I was a kid, I'm like, how did my mom know where to pick me up at the mall? Because I ain't got no phone. She doesn't have a phone. How is, like, if I'm supposed to meet somebody somewhere at a certain time, I can't remember how we figured that out, but we just fucking figured it out. Wow. So like there's nothing, like you can go, like life is easy now. Like it's so much easier than when we were kids. So fucking figure it out.
There you go.
Nice. I love that. Those are all great answers.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, thanks, boys.
Thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And we're out.
And we're out.
Take it easy.
That's just terrible. Bad news.